Sponsored by Miniswap.gg. With the new edition of 40k on the way, a lot of people are really excited to join the WoW and play some orcs. So let me show you my orc army, and a few problems with it. I've been collecting orcs since the tail end of 8th edition. The first kit I bought as an adult when I returned to the hobby were actually these knobs, and it shows. It really shows. I bought them in that really nice old pack of 4 boys that were like monopose, literally just to play the old Kill Team 2018 because you could take knobs back then. So they are that old, and my painting has thankfully improved since then, so I've decided that they need a bit of a glow up. In fact, this entire army is in need of a glow up, and with the price of Warhammer these days, plus like my growing disinterest in Warhammer and Games Workshop products as a whole, I've decided I'm much better off repainting this army if I ever want to use it for literally anything. I've had to divide my collection up into 3 batches. Modern orcs that I think are painted alright, orcs whose only real problem is that I was never good at painting skin and now I am, and orcs that need to be completely reprimed and redone. We're going to tackle a bit of all 3 of those today, and I'll show you how I do all of it. Also, if you'd like to know any specifics about all my weird orc kit bashes, I probably remember most of it, and I'd be happy to tell you. Do you like the Armageddon box? I feel like I really don't care about the Armageddon box, and that's okay. We're not going to spend all day talking about the Armageddon box. We're going to spend today talking about why I like orcs, how I paint orcs, and what to do with all of the orcs in my collection. So I've never really been able to come up with a great name for my orc clan. I've always just kind of called them the Dusty Boys due to a mishap I had with some varnish one time. And boy, do these guys live up to their reputation because they were very dusty. I have since purchased much better Q-tips, but I had to get the dust off somehow. Then since we're going to be repriming some of these boys, I had to take all of the grass tufts off because repainting grass tufts sounded like kind of a nightmare that I did not care to do. Some of them came off very easily, some were super glued, but I saved all of them because we're just going to reuse them. It'll be totally fine. Now here's where I admit to you that some of this footage is very old. This, for instance, if you can tell by that old Bill Making Stuff style transition I tried to do, is over a year old footage that I primed these bad boys, and then, yeah. Time gets away from you, especially in this hobby, especially when my day job is not dissimilar to painting miniatures, so, you know. I hope you'll forgive me, and I'll let you know when we get back to the present day. And while the primer dries on some of our orcs, luckily some of the other ones I only have to repaint the skin, so I'm going to teach you how I paint orc skin. Something that I think might be one of the things I do very well in miniature painting. I don't know about very well, but I got it kind of down to a long process, but a pretty solid process. I have my colors down, I have the way I get to an end result down, and it's like my favorite thing about painting orcs. It does not translate well to human skin, but you know, I digress. So we're going to repaint the entire model with some green from Monument Hobbies, some Pro Acryl green, which I'm sure you saw what kind of green, I can't remember.
Many months later.
And then we leave them for several months to dry. And now we're back to present day. So this is present day Chris grabbing 5 orcs out of his box. And we're going to use camo green from Monument Hobbies up to leafy green in like mixed layers. We're never going to go full leafy green before the wash, but we're going to get there later, I promise. Orc muscles are so exaggerated. They're actually kind of easy to paint compared to like people because they're just, if you get the angles right, the lighting kind of works. I don't totally know how to explain what I'm doing, but I just kind of paint a little bit less each time I add color. I know that's typically how painting works, but as you can see, I'm just leaving a bit of the recesses and always working down. So like their underarms and armpits are probably going to stay camo green forever, more or less. And as we work in that leafy green, we just highlight more and more of the accentuated like edges, just edge highlighting. And yes, we're doing all of this well before we wash anything. It's important to get this kind of layered look out of this green before we even do any washes. On other things, I might have used dry brushing for this, but on this, it's all just brush layering. Then we're going to take the thing that makes my orcs work, Coelia Green Shade. This is the old Coelia Green Shade from Citadel. When this paint pot runs out, I don't know what the new Coelia Green Shade is like, so we'll cross that bridge, hopefully never. But this stuff just looks so good over orc skin. It like tinges the shadows in a way that I've always really liked. It's always been my secret to painting orcs. And after I force you to watch paint dry, we have a pretty solid orc base coat skin, but we gotta make it shine. And the first thing we have to do to make it shine actually is to dirty it up. So I'm gonna slap some marine juice across the entire miniature. I know I already washed like everything, clearly at some point before, but now we're gonna reunite all of that old paint from years ago with new paint from today using this wash. I've used marine juice 100 million times, but you're essentially just mixing a black wash, a brown wash, and a mixing medium in equal parts. It always looks horrible going on, and when it dries, I promise you, it actually does not look amazing in this shot. I'm noticing that. It's a little shinier than I think it ought to be, but that's okay. Varnish and layering and crap will fix that. Now, what makes my skin highlights shine is this cyber yellow from Green Stuff World. So we're going to start again. We're going to start again layering skin. This time we're going to start at kind of a 50-50 mix of that leafy green and camo green and work our way up through leafy green all the way up through the not fully cyber yellow, because even right now I'm not loving this. It's looking fine. But once we get in that cyber yellow, yes, that is orc green skin. Look at that. On my old miniatures, this is where you would have just seen me like literally highlight like dots of yellow. But on this is where the skin just like sings. This is where we hit all of the most top edges with, this is probably 50-50 mix. And then we kind of go in and glaze a little more cyber yellow into that and just build up some shine. Now our orcs are nice and snotty and they're looking excellent. Now, if you're looking to affordably fund your own orc restoration project, look no further than today's sponsor, Miniswap. Miniswap is a marketplace for buying and selling miniatures. They started off with mostly Games Workshop products, but have expanded into BattleTech, Star Wars Legion, Bolt Action, and a growing list of other publishers. Miniswap is super easy to use. You can hunt the website looking through their vast collection to find exactly what you need at a deal and price that's perfect for you. It's actually two-sided, so you can sell your own miniatures or buy stuff at a great discount. I've used Miniswap to buy a couple of different things already, some BattleTech models, and also this box of Space Marines that I promise you're going to see in a video by the end of the year. And I actually really enjoyed the process. It was very, very easy, and it's a lot more secure than like Facebook Marketplace or just like messaging some dude on a subreddit. You don't want to be doing that. I so appreciate Miniswap reaching out to me for this collaboration because I feel like it fits perfectly with the kind of thing I like to bring into this hobby, which is affordable wargaming in the way you want and how you want to do it, and not burning your wallet just because you feel like you have to. There'll be links in the description, and tell Miniswap that I sent you if you talk to anybody there. But I've enjoyed using their website, and I'm going to continue using it in the future. All right, let's get back to the orcs. Just to show how far I think painting my orc skin has come, look at the comparison between these two knobs. Night and day. And I also painted up some of the death skulls off camera because I didn't want this video to be way too long, but I have an idea of painting like a video for each different orc clan or culture, whatever the heck they're called. If you're interested in that, let me know. So I'm going to show you one today that I've never actually painted before. That's right, we're going to paint some Blood Axes. Blood Axes is an orc clan that I guess I hadn't realized like how defined its style was. I think it always went past me because I thought they were red, and they're not red, actually. There's 3 orc factions that I feel like are red, but they're not. These bad boys are actually going to wear a lot of camo, so we're going to do some, like, gray pants, and I'm going to try and make up a camo color. We'll see how well that goes. I'm going to start with an overbrush of a khaki color just to, like, get in some earth tones and make these bad boys look like they stole some guardsman's pants or something. I'm not sure. I don't know a ton about the Blood Axes. Tell me your favorite fact about Blood Axes. I do know that they have big weapons or lots of weapons and tactics. That's the thing, right? It's tactics. So they wear camo. Sometimes they like disguise themselves as a space marine. Sometimes they just like are like this guy and they put polka dots on their pants. I looked at camo patterns online, and some of them are obviously feel very complicated to paint. So I went with a very easy one that I think isn't going to be too distracting and actually kind of light on the camo part. I just took an off-white color and did some like random blotches with like a kind of crappy brush, which actually helped in like the weird organic shapes. I then took a dark brown, because camo tends to have like 3 colors, and we're just going to do like a top line on these. I don't know what this camo pattern is in real life, but it came up in pictures. Like if you saw those orcs I showed earlier, it came up in some pictures. So I'm going to steal it, and I'm going to be like any good orc and just steal with reckless abandon, and also probably do a pretty bad job at it. So I actually found this very, very fun. I like orcs with weird pants. Some of my orcs have like polka dots and stuff on their pants because I thought it was funny, but these blood axes do need a couple more browns, a couple more like earth tones, so we're just going to pull out some speed paints and do some parts no one cares about. And then I like the idea of them having red shirts because it's really funny to have really bright red clothing, but you think you're blending in because you have camouflage. I don't know. That's funny to me. Is that funny to you? Who cares? And then without boring you through a bunch more base coats, I just slapped on some more base coats, a couple of fun hazard stripes, a couple of speed paints, and some bone colors just to like make the thing work. And then what are we going to do? We're going to do marine juice on everything. I think this is going to tie all those earth tones in like really, really extra well, because marine juice has like an earthy tinge to it, so it really works on warm colors. It's fine on cool colors like the orc skin, but it really works on warm colors like this bone or like these brown pants. And then it's going to do what marine juice does best. And with that dry, our orcs are looking great. Again, the best part about marine juice is that you could totally just leave these models here, but I'm going to add a couple of nice highlights, pick out a few fun colors, and make things look a little better and a little dustier. Easiest way to do that with any color is you either mix in some off-white, or for our red, we're actually going to mix in orange because it makes it fun. The problem is it makes it orange instead of red, and then we're going to use any leftover paint we have and just slap it on some of our other orcs. I'm working this project really slow. I'm doing it kind of 1-2 models at a time. Don't ask me why. It's probably not smart. It's going to take a very long time, but lately I just cannot batch paint like 100 miniatures. It's just not been fun. And if something's not fun, especially in like a hobby like this, don't do it. It's very silly to do something that's not fun. You never have to get anything done in this hobby unless you do it as a job. And even then, you can kind of do whatever you want. I think I'd like to do this as a job, but you tell me. I don't know. Now, I built these models a long time ago, so they do have issues like these sprue joints. So I literally just turned it into an injury rather than fix it because I forgot. But you can do fun things like that, like my AdMech on all the mold lines I forgot to scrape off. I literally just put white lines for stitches like their robes are stitched up. You know, little creative fun things that to me are way more interesting than taking time to clean up mold lines. Is that dumb? Probably, but it's kind of half of what I do here. Now we're going to do some really bright silver because I think this really bright silver is going to make this model a little more interesting. I'm liking where he's going. He's not perfect, but he's got a lot of metallics and we got to do something with them. So a good way to add a lot of detail is to do like a rough silver dry brush. So I grabbed like a really worn old brush that's just never going to be pointy ever again and just stipple bright silver on like all the metal edges. Honestly, not even caring if it hits the red because then it just looks like scraped up paint. You can go more in detail with some sponges of some brown and stuff to do this too. I don't really care to do it much on miniatures. I'll do it on like, you know, tanks and big robots and stuff, but on just like a little dude, a little infantry guy, not worth it. Another good way to sell detail, easy detail, is just hit all the rivets with a bright color so they stand out. It just adds like so much more going on the miniature without you really having to like try. And it's very, very cathartic, maybe is the word I'm looking for. It's very zen painting all these rivets. And then I kind of thought he needed a little more contrast, so I actually grabbed a black speed paint, and I almost broke everything on my desk, but that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta, make a mess. But I grabbed black speed paint, and I did some, like, really targeted, really strong, not like pin washes, because I kind of went over the entire area, but really targeted areas to, like, get out a lot of contrast in fun ways. A lot of armor panel bottoms, a lot of like inside the eyes, a lot of lower metal areas, some cables that like just needed some black. I could have done a black wash, but I wanted to be a little more extra. Now all of the Dusty Boys have a base of elephant gray. Why? I wish I hadn't gone gray, but there's no world I'm gonna repaint all of the bases on this. I might end up repainting all the bases. I'm not sure. But it does make them dusty. They are the Dusty Boys. Brown is obviously better for everything because it just works for every base, but we went with gray because that's what we went with when I was dumb. I also, back when I made these orcs, I did not like brown bases. I thought it was very dull, so I went with an even duller color. But that's okay. We're just going to do some stippling with a dry brush, and luckily, like a craft paint is very, very like low in pigment, so you can really smack at his feet and blend him into the base. I'm okay with the wash kind of hitting weird areas and again blending him into this gray base, making him look like a Dusty Boy that he is. After that dried, we're like almost there. He's looking pretty dang cool. We just need to do a couple little details and a little dustiness. So I take out Old Faithful. Mummy Robes is just an off-white, perfect for dry brushing, especially stuff like bases, and hit the entire bottom of the base. These bases are back when I used to add fun details to bases. I don't tend to do that now because I'm just lazy. I'm just lazy and not creative. Maybe that's what it is. I find my kit bashes were more interesting when I started the hobby. I'm not sure why, but there's probably something in that. Then we're going to do our Old Faithful tactic of dust, which I usually use brown for, and I think it works better for brown. But we do some like really light dry brushing, going upward with our dusty base color, blends them into the base, makes them look dusty. And then we have to replace all of those plants from earlier and give him a nice rimmed base. And one knob out of 50 odd orcs is done. And it's going to be the last orc for a while because I was sent something pretty cool that's going to take up a lot more of my time. Some not Turnip 28 miniatures. You'll see about these pretty shortly. Don't worry. Orcs might go back in the box for a bit. And if you made it to the end, as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you making it to the end, especially because I did not spend the last 20 minutes just complaining about Games Workshop stuff, because that's not what we do here. I don't want to do that. Am I crazy for like not caring at all about the Armageddon box? Am I crazy for just repainting stuff I've already painted that hopefully we'll see a gaming table one day? I don't know. You tell me. What's your experience? Are we worried that things are too expensive? Are we worried that we're too worried about what's going on? Orc players, we should be pretty chill, weirdly enough. And I think, I don't know, did you just like my orc skin? You tell me. Whatever you want to talk about in the comments, please do. I'm Chris, I like to paint things, and have a good one.